Hey, how are you doing?
Oh man, Paravita. Paravita. You
What
know,
is that? Is that French or something?
uh, pure life.
Yeah. So what's your schedule been like down there?
Lots of fun, followed by relaxation. Pretty much
Nice.
that's yeah. So hot springs, going in town, 100% pure cocoa, cacao tour, the night tour,
Oh
climbing
yeah.
a mountain with horses, going to the
On
farm that's
horseback?
over the mountain. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's good shit.
Sounds like a good variety. How's the food there?
Yeah, man, top tier.
Is like is it
We got
nice?
like chefs here that like present the food, decorate good stuff. Looks good, tastes good. Yeah.
That's cool. Do you think that's a fairly like unique location, or are there like
Yeah,
many
for
retreats
sure.
that would be similar? Or this like,
And like
like
there's
yeah, price point and like quality and stuff? You think it's like the one of the, one of one, or can you do this in
hard to
many
say
places?
hard to say unless I actually check out the other place, see what the costs are.
Yeah.
But what's unique is, it's in a village, kind of up the mountain. Got the view, incredible view of the mountain. Another hotel at the base of the mountain, and you can like look around. It's pretty intense. But like just around there, yeah, like the pools that they have are good, and it's larger, fancier, but
Right.
it feels more like a resort. This place feels organic. I could use that word. It's more pure,
Right.
simple.
How did you get
So
out
I don't know.
there originally? Like you flew in and you took a taxi?
I flew in and I have a project driver who took us out. It was like
Oh
a
yeah.
3 hour drive, 2.5, 3 hour drive from the airport. So we're back
Not
tomorrow,
so bad. Yeah.
flying back to fucking. Yeah. I wish I had another. I wish I had
Then what? Do you have anything
2 days.
going on like once you get back?
Nah, nothing. Maybe some yoga back
Bring
with
some
Seb here and see a friend in Hamilton, and then maybe see family back, and who knows.
yeah.
I've yeah, it's
Bring
funny
some
because
yeah.
huh?
I was gonna say bring some like fresh cocoa back or something and uh use that to invoke the memories.
Yeah, I have to be careful with that stuff. Man, the cacao it's something else. It doesn't have
Powerful.
caffeine, but it yeah, it perks you up. It gives you energy like you've never had before. Like you have a mouthful or two, which I think is way more than you should. Just like whoa, it feels really good. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
do the tour any justice. Like the story of how cacao came to be, and like the legends or the myth or the stories. It was
I don't know any
told
of that.
told
No.
very interesting, like with Mother Earth and the sun, who is the master of God, and then the tree is like the Mother Earth is actually grandmother, and how the tree, or like the cacao flower, which is on the tree, be pollinated by a small mosquito, And the way it's all set up is like the mosquito, like the leaves drop, like water, and that's enough amount of water for mosquitoes to, and then the mosquitoes, I'm not sure, but they end up pollinating the little flowers on the cacao tree. Without the mosquitoes, there's like a plan B, but I forget what it is. But basically, the mosquitoes are responsible for pollinating the flower and then into the cacao seed. Like with Tor, we ended up like harvesting a couple of the fruit and up and like we actually ate the inside, which is you don't eat the seed, you take the seed, which is actually the cacao or the chocolate, and they let it ferment. And so with your saliva on it, it helps to ferment. Forget how long it was like, and then you would cook it over fire, and it smells like cookies, man. Oh, how good it smells! And from there, you can just peel it. Like if there's like an outer shell, and you can eat nibs. They're called cacao nibs. It's like, and it's fucking. Or you can go a step further and you can grind a paste because it's loaded with fat. You're like squeezing it, fat's coming out, and turns it into like a paste. Then you can go one step further. The paste is delicious on its own, but then if you mix it in with like milk or some sort of like, or like any kind of milk type item, it just further and becomes even more delicious. And so we did that. And we're all the work that we did was like the people who were in the war, and we got cacao home with us. We tried to make hot chocolate and failed, and then we just ate the rest.
That's nice to see all those different uses for it is pretty cool. Like I've definitely heard of cacao nibs, but I never fully understood what they were. But it sounds like they're like some like intermediate stage on the way to making like the paste and stuff that is used in chocolate.
Don't
That's pretty crazy. Like it's such
do more.
it seems like such an interesting, like chocolate is like the best like commodity, and the fact that it's grown and then it's processed in all these different ways, like that would be such a legendary item to farm back sort of in the early days of civilization, where like you couldn't ever buy a chocolate bar, like if you knew a cacao farmer and they just had all these crazy like delicious products that you just could not get anywhere else. That would be a pretty insane like thing to trade.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the first forms of currency, which is also very neat. No, like
Just carrying
way
around
back.
some cacao nibs.
Not nibs, but like the seeds before they're peeled. I don't know if they're cooked at this point, but they're uses of currency. Like the uses for these things, like
So
the
what's the
health
fruit
benefits.
part?
So the fruit part,
You said
it's
there's
not
like fruit around the seed.
yeah. So like you'd have to, pictures and worth 1,000 words. But like you open up the fruit when it's ripe, so like orange or yellow, and depending on the type, there's different types actually. And when you open, you'll have like I think 4 fruits right at the tip, and then they just kind of circle around the stem. And yeah, you can pull them out. So like kind of like cob, but just like the cob's super thin, and the kernels are just sort of like a white, transparent white. Yeah, and obviously you got like the cacao bean, but most of the kernel is the cacao bean. It's a small coating of flesh. So yeah, a stalk of corn, like just corn top coming. It reminds me of that. But just corn being white, much larger in size, stalk, and the fleshy part it covers, like of the kernel. That's the best way I can describe it without actually showing a picture. And it's actually delicious. It's not too sweet. It's quite yummy. So, I mean, what's really cool about this ceremony is that you can do the group because you're going to process a lot of fruit. It's going to take some time to do a lot. It really is a lot. So, you have a whole people. You mow down on the fruit, which is get all the fermentation. Is that right? Fermentation. Anyways, and you pile up all the seeds. It doesn't matter because it's all going to ferment and you're going to cook it anyway. So you cacao seeds, and then use that each day. Once you get the cycle going, now you can eat the flesh off of the cacao, put that off to the side, and then continue the process by taking the work from 2-3 days ago, and then together cooking it, and then together peeling it because it's a lot of work to peel it. So I could see it being like a communal thing. It has a lot of good benefits as well. But yeah, I think it's easy to overdose. I'm going nuts on it. I have way too much.
And I assume it needs like a warm climate. Like you couldn't farm that stuff locally.
Pretty
What
sure
about the
warm's
summer?
required. Pretty sure warm's required, yeah.
And like warmer than like a standard like summer day in Canada?
Problem with
Or like a
Canada
different season?
is that winter would kill it. Pretty sure winter would kill the tree. And it takes quite a while. It takes quite a while for that to grow. Yeah. So there's that. But I mean, it's really special. And this is what I was going to say is that the chocolate you buy in store, garbage. Okay. Sugar added in, milk added in, caramel, whatever. All that shit's garbage. It's not CACAO cacao, 100% pure. Fucking rotten. I mean, the other stuff will give you like insulin overload, diabetes. Like it's not good. When having it at home, would react. I would have issues with my skin. This is a vasodilator. For whatever reason, this 100% pure cacao, like the nibs, don't affect me the same way. I don't get redness in my face. Even if it is a vasodilator, I don't have the effects. I just get perky. Almost too perky. So if I have some before bed, yeah, I'm not sleeping that great. But it's not caffeine, it's just energizes me.
So what do you think is like the best store-bought chocolate in Canada? Like, those like Lindt bars that are like, they give you the percentage of like whatever that percentage is, like real cocoa. Is that something there?
All of it's garbage. Anything, because it has sugar added to it. Like if it's 70% chocolate, what's the other 30%? Right? Like it's
well, that's what I assume. But if you one time I ate like a 98% and it was very bitter. So did the stuff that you ate, like, did it taste kind of bitter or did it have a sweet taste?
not sweet. It tastes like chocolate.
It's like dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
It's definitely not like milk chocolate. And the dark chocolate I've had, I find it excessively bitter, and it could be because of the process it was put under. And they might have added stuff like the shells. Who knows? But like the nibs, when I have them, it reminds me of chocolate, like just pure chocolate, but it's not bitter. At least not overly bitter. Again, I remember Baker's chocolate, and that was a different thing altogether.
Oh yeah. But the nibs don't have any like added sugar in this case?
Zero. Like the nib is just
that's weird.
pure cacao. It's
I
like
wonder
right
if
from
there's
the
some
seed.
like online store that sells that, like that direct product shipped, like,
Yeah,
over.
well, like I'm sure the farms here ship internationally. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you can get coffee from Costa Rica. Why can't you get cacao? It's just, knowing where to go. So,
Yeah.
so just like how much are you going to pay for it? That's the question.
That would be neat. I could get sold pretty easily if I visited a website and it showed me like step by step the process and like how it's then packaged and how it gets shipped to like where I live, then I would be pretty sold on that. Like even if they said, the price is pretty high, if I felt like I like the story, behind it, I like the purity, then I feel like they could convince me it's like a premium, sort of like a special product, and
Mhm.
that somehow it's like better than whatever I buy in the store.
Be careful, like, don't, because they'll sometimes like mixing like cocoa, right? They're trying to like increase the volume of the product that they're selling, so they'll add in like the shells or whatever. Don't get cocoa, get cacao. Like the cocoa shells, the shells I think are called cocoa, right, Sub? Yeah, so you make tea with it, but they add it to the freaking chocolate or the cacao in order to kind of like, buff up volume. What's the word I'm looking for? When you like add shit to a
Like
drug, you
cutting.
cut it. It's like, yeah, it's like they're cutting. They add the garbage into it. Yeah, I mean, it's a tea. You're not supposed, eat it. You're not supposed to eat it, the shells. So just 100% pure cacao, not cocoa. Because I've seen like now I'm noticing it like they're selling chocolate bars somewhere. And it's cocoa that they have. Sometimes it's COCO or COCA, and that's not like the good stuff. So
You know how they
don't
say
buy
like in Europe the chocolate is like sweeter? I wonder what's up with that.
whatever it is. It doesn't matter because in Belgium, for instance, they don't have their own cacao trees, so they're not going to
They're
make.
still like
They're not going to
importing
have
it.
the yeah. They're importing their stuff,
Yeah.
so the best chocolates can be made where the trees are.
I
So I
wonder
gotta
now,
say,
like in Switzerland, there's like the Lindt like factory, but obviously like the raw goods are coming from somewhere,
probably
and
Africa.
I don't know what their raw like what arrives at the factory. Like
That's the
is it
thing.
already
Yeah,
yeah,
like what is coming? What is being shipped? What is that shipment being exposed to? Right? Like,
or if
is
it's
it
already cut
already?
like before it gets there or something.
If it's shelled and all, like, or if the nibs are already broken open, well then that they can go stale while they're being transported. Who knows? Like, are they getting the best quality product to work with to make their chocolate? If it's being shipped, I doubt it. So I don't think they're going to be as top tier as if Africa were to, if they were to actually like create their own chocolate plants and like make their own chocolate, and that's what they export instead of just the cacao. They probably do a lot better, but I don't know. There's probably reasons why they haven't done that yet, or they might. I don't know. Maybe people just like hearing that their chocolate's from Switzerland or Belgium. It's more fancy. If they hear it's from Africa, maybe they don't think it's as good. Who knows? But Costa Rica could make
Yeah,
their own chocolate, and it could be still considered legit. So, and they might.
yeah, they could work
I
on that
haven't.
branding.
Yeah, brands, everything. I haven't looked into the different chocolate brands here, but I won't be buying chocolate anymore. I'll be buying cacao. It stuff's fun, man. It is fun.
Yeah, I think there's
So,
a chocolate factory called the Dandelion Chocolate Factory that's like in the city where I live, and they they basically they sell nibs, they sell bars, they sell like chocolate covered almonds, but each product category has like all these gradients, like the percentage of whatever in it. So next time I go there, I'll check like the packaging because I think they make a big deal about like the purity of it or something. And it's like a smallish factory. It's like they did like small batch chocolate making. So maybe they have a higher quality. I should look at like what their percentages are.
well, anything that's not 100 isn't pure chocolate.
Yeah, I have a bad uh impression of 100% though, because they're like if you go to the grocery store, there's like those Lindt bars that are 100, and they taste really bad. They're like really waxy and stuff. So I wonder what they mean by 100% and what maybe it's just 100%. It's not very fresh or something. I guess that could be
Yeah,
it.
I've tried that stuff. I've tried the Bakers. I've tried the
Yeah.
100% pure. I've tried the Gideo 100%, and whatever they do to it to get it that texture for presentation, it changes it. When we had the cacao after it was grounded, so it was cooked and then we peeled it and then we grounded it in this grounder thing. It was this metal device, and then we twisted this thing and basically pushed out as a paste. That was delicious. And when we added like oat milk to it and and cooked it a bit more, it was amazingly good.
That's
Amazingly
crazy.
good. It is not. It was not in the store. So it's like 100% pure
Yeah.
cacao mixed in with some oat milk. That's what we had. So just so damn good.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to make my own. To be honest.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we could somehow buy like little tiny greenhouses that were like a quarter of a room size or something, like just in the apartment or in the backyard or something, tiny little greenhouses, and we grow like, you know, maybe a couple of neighbors like grow the same thing and we pool it together and take it to some local place where they have the machines to like grind it all. Get
Hmm.
some fresh stuff.
Well, that aside, I gotta say, man, like I'm thinking about going back, and I'm gonna be free from the 9 to 5, and even still, like I'm thinking about just being in Canada and how it's set up, suburbia, needing a car to get around, all the
Yeah, I'm so tired of
bureaucracy,
that. Yeah.
all the fucking the tracking, everything from like the money in our accounts to our IDs and the fact that we need a passport to leave the country or come back into the country, like all this fucking bullshit. It just drives me crazy, man. Like we make things so complicated. I
Yeah.
guess I understand why. Otherwise, you get smuggling, you get stuff in the country you don't want. Sure, okay, I get it. But it's such a major pain in the ass. And I'm thinking about going back, and I'm just like, there is nothing I'm looking forward to. Like really, but like going back to Ottawa, it's
Right.
nice to hang with my friend, but everybody's plugged in, man. I mean, even you're plugged in. You're still working for Google, but but you're not as plugged in. Like you've done stuff. You don't own a car, as you said. Like I don't even know why you're in San Francisco, to be honest. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering now is like where am I going to go next? And I'm having sort of a problem where I can't think of a single city that does it right and that would actually just, you know, let me get like closer to living life itself. And so I'm kind of lost at the moment. Like it seems like
go.
everywhere in America and Canada is just kind of
You're
bad.
right. It is.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
oasis I can think of is maybe Vancouver Island, but even that is starting to. I don't recognize it. When I was there 10 years ago, living
Yeah.
there, it was more peaceful, right? I felt closer to nature. I went back to visit there, and I felt off. It's
Yeah,
growing too much.
yeah, it might
They're
work.
tearing.
Yeah, and the rent and stuff is it's like it just doesn't have that feeling of like I could spend forever here because it just feels like you're being drained like of your money too fast and you just gotta and then it's like but where will I go next, you know, like that's always the question.
Well, like if I live there, it's cheaper than living in Ottawa. The trick
Oh,
is
that's
is
cool.
owning
Yeah.
a place, but all the
Yeah.
places have doubled in value. But it's the same thing with Ottawa. It's just a condo in BC, 300,000, condo in Ottawa, maybe 220. The initial starting costs were a bit higher when I got in, and then price doubled, if not more than doubled. because of COVID. So yeah, the barrier to entry is a lot higher in BC, Vancouver Island. But I find that everything else kind of balances out. Like where I'm at, I get free water. I don't pay for gas, which is $150 a month because of the winter. I pay for electricity, but if I'm not using really any electricity, that's going to be cheap. The insurance is covered by the government. So, I mean, if you have a good driving record, you're going to get a good deal. You're going to get a really good deal. And I'm pretty sure that my insurance there is cheaper than here. My property insurance, because you live there, you get like subsidized, or you get a grant rather for like $1,200 back. So in the end, you're only paying like $1,000 or $900 property tax. And well, in Ottawa, I'm paying over 3,000. So you can see like just the gap. Okay, the cost of gas and food might be higher, but you're not driving around as much on the island. You can go on like a nice road trip, but that's for pleasure. I mean, you want to get anywhere in Ottawa, it's 30 minutes. If you want to go to yoga, 30 minutes. You want to go to work, 30 minutes. You want to go downtown, 33 minutes if there's no traffic, based off where I am. Like everything is a 30-minute drive. Fucking fortune in gas. I guess yeah, what I was trying to get at is like things have changed. Like everybody wants to be in the island to the point where it's like too many people are starting to come to the island. Like they're blowing into the mountain, they're cutting down the forest to build houses. It's just like nothing but houses with some box stores. It feels like everywhere else. Like they're taking the most important parts of the island away. They're developing the shit out of it. There's still a lot of beauty, tremendous amount of beauty, but there's too many fucking people. I actually experienced traffic in an area there I never thought I would experience traffic. Like going into Victoria from Lanford in the morning, yeah, okay, there's traffic, but I never thought that I would experience traffic midday going from Souk into Lanford. I was like, what is going on? There shouldn't be any traffic. People should be leaving work, not heading into the city. So the infrastructure can't keep up with the amount of houses they have. Contractors can't afford to live there, so the ones that are there, they're driving the prices up. So everything is just costing more and more. That way, I guess. But once you already got a place, you're fine. Outside of that, man, I don't really know where is worth living in North America. That's why, like, I really have my eyes set now in Central America. You gotta learn some Spanish, I guess, but your Costa Rica, your dollar goes about the same. The difference is that you're better aligned with how you should be living. So I'm all about like healthy lifestyle, and environment plays a really big part in that. So in the northern hemisphere, wintertime you have less sunlight, you have more darkness, and people have seasonal depression because of that, because of a lack of vitamin D. Also, they're more sedentary because people don't want to freeze their asses out in the cold. Totally get that. So they don't go out for hikes as much or walks as much. They sit in, they watch their Netflix. Maybe some of them go do winter sports. That's great, but not everybody can afford that. That's can be pretty pricey. And people who are working a 9 to 5, well, they can only really get away on weekends. Summertime, there's too much sun. The sun comes up at like what 5:30 or something. It sets at like 10 or 11. But we need the darkness for our serotonin to convert into melatonin, which helps us sleep. And so what ends up happening is unless we get blackout curtains and are like very deliberate with our sleep discipline, which most people are not, we're getting less sleep overall. And I've never really realized this. I mean, I would be stressed in the summertime, but also, you pair that with the sugary drinks, which are available, like the ice caps and all the other stuff. I would pack on a tremendous amount of weight in the summertime and lose it all in the fall, winter, and spring, and then regain it back in the summertime. And that's because I realized just on this trip that there's too much sun in the summertime.
Too much sun
So
in
too much
in this
sun.
trip.
No, not this trip, but too much sun in the summertime in the northern hemisphere.
Huh.
And in the summer,
Oh, daylight and stuff, yeah.
obviously, yeah. So when you're away from the equator, you're getting more sunlight in the summertime. It's just the seasons are reversed depending on which side of the planet you're on. So the more south you are, then you get the idea. Our winter is their summer is our winter.
Yeah.
But too much sun, not you're not really your serotonin is not converting to melatonin to help you sleep. You're not getting as much sleep. Sleep deprivation leads to release of cortisol. You get more stressed. You probably reach for the more sugary foods, which is why I used to reach for those ice caps. So if you want to live closer to the way we used to live, we evolved near the equator. In order to live in the northern hemisphere, we need technology. We didn't always have technology. It takes millions of years for evolution to do its thing. And yes, there's some adjustments with the use of fire. Like, we've been using fire for long enough where it has changed us a bit in how we digest food. But our cells all have the circadian rhythm, like that's in our body. What's neat about Central America is sun rises and sets at the same time, all the time. And our cells, like that's how they're programmed. Our hormones are going to be better balanced. People are the happiest here because, well, of the sun rising and setting and not being consistent, but the nature here is next level. The beauty is unreal. You
Yeah,
got
compared
mountains, yeah. You
yeah.
got forest, jungle, mountains. You have all these different types of climates. We're in the jungle slash mountains where we are right now. Then you got the beaches. There's a whole different ecosystem. It's so diverse here. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And the people, and you could have perfect sleep, perfect diet, which you don't get in North America because everything's full of toxins. I'm actually dreading eating the food in North America.
Yeah.
You can have perfect exercise. Like go to the gym and do fucking yoga and whatever else, and you go running. But the social piece is an issue
Right.
because people are working the 9 to 5. Our society glorifies performance and burnout. People are tired. They come home at the end of the day and they want to sit in their ass and watch TV or play video games, socializing
Right.
for the weekend. They live for the weekend, if that. They don't have a family. And it's like,
Yeah,
uh,
everything is like a grind, but it's like a grind in the name of what? And there's never a point where we cross some finish line and actually like achieve just like a happy, peaceful life. We're just like grinding forever. There's never a mention of like the end of the grind or a break from the grind. There's not a lot of avenues like for that.
and if you're lucky enough to have money or retire before you die, then like
Yeah.
when you have the means to be able to break away from the 9 to 5, then you can go and travel and see things, and that's the reward is you get freedom, which is something we should have had all along. We don't because we're plugged into a system that requires us to turn our hamster wheel so that
Yeah.
the people who are at the top can enjoy the fruits of your labor, and that's how the system's set up. And the stock market is one tool, real estate's another. Like there's just so many ways that there's these transfers of wealth. Like so many ways
Yeah.
that the transfer of wealth can happen. It's just crazy. And so that's it. So like you can have the first three components, sleep, diet, and exercise, which you really don't have fucking proper sleep, or you're sleeping too much or you're sleeping too little because of too much darkness or too much sun, your food is covered in toxins, and you could have you could have E. coli in your salads or in your chicken, and these are covered in chemicals. Like the way the chickens, the cattle, the uh, anything farmed, really, the way that the animals are treated is just inhumane. And so those are the protein sources. Exercise, strength training, is it really natural? When you think about it, it's kind of not natural. When you think about like where what we should be able to do is climbing for food, climbing the trees, using our body,
Yeah.
going up
Carrying
steep
stuff. Yeah.
incline, down steep incline, but even carrying stuff like agriculture, they didn't really evolve for that either. So carrying heavy loads, bales of water, all that shit, we didn't evolve for that.
Mm.
No, we evolved to actually men more so than women, and that's why the fat that we have is stored on our midsection and not our hips. And we've evolved to move, to climb, and if we ate the way we were supposed to eat, and we did these activities every single day because that was our life, we'd be all fucking jacked. We'd be super lean. But the social piece, even if you can do your very best to have the three things I mentioned, and I did, and I modeled that, and I lost 30 pounds, and the summertime hit though, and it's like just the people I was surrounded by. Like, I'm mostly alone, which is loneliness is an epidemic in North America. It's a big
Right.
problem, and they're arguing it's like the leading cause of heart disease or something. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh
It's
yeah.
more
Yeah.
damaging than smoking a cigarette, for fuck's sakes.
Well, when you smoke, you often go outside and you're in like a social group of smokers. So you, uh,
At least you
yeah,
get that, right? One sec. Um, but the people are very disconnected. And you might be able to go and, have a nice evening with your friend, but usually like there's chips involved or beers or bad things and binging TV, and unless you have some healthy activities that you like to do, go for a walk or whatever, like that tends to be the norm less and less. Rare, more and more rare that you find that in people. I'm finding a lot of my friends are kind of defaulting to their idea of hosting, which is bring out the chips, bring out the beer, let's sit and let's watch something
huh.
and they'll chat. And then maybe if we think about it, we go for a little walk after dinner or something like that. Like, that's just, unless you're planning a deliberate activity to go out and do something, it just seems like that's what people default to. And there's more. There's more to it than that. Like, has to be.
Yeah.
It's just they're
Yeah. I
so
get as soon as
tired.
there's like patterns, anytime like, if I sense like a pattern, like we eat this, we watch this, it's this amount of time, we talk about these kind of things, then I'll get like very restless, like, and I'll start to not, I want like fresh things and to break from the pattern and to experience like new experiences. And I find it like stressful to repeat this, like the idea of like going over to someone's house and like kind of doing the same in the same mold. It feels too like uh too predictable or something.
Yeah. But it just seems like the default is, and some might be more active than others, but people are getting more and more exhausted. They're getting more drained. They got to work harder to make ends meet, especially with the way the interest rates have been. And people are over leveraged and working and feeling the stress from money and feeling the stress from this or that. Like it's so yeah, it's like even the social components kind of messed up. And being here in Costa Rica, I mean, I'm having bad sleeps because of nightmares. But if I didn't have my nightmares, like going to bed when the sun goes or starts, because the sun goes down like around 6:30. Like starting to shut down around 6:30. You know, I eat dinner a little bit late sometimes. I ate dinner late tonight, but being able to relax, go to bed by 9, wake up 5. It's when the howler monkeys start going, and you start hearing the birds come out. 9 to 5, you go to bed when you're tired in the darkness. You wake up with the sun rising. That's that piece. The diet, I mean, you grow your own food here. Everything's pure. Everything's clean. You're good to go that way. And then the exercise, like, you're just getting around this place. You gotta walk up a fucking mountain, walk up and down a mountain. It's great. Get the physical activity piece is really good here. Like you could choose to sit in your ass all day, but I mean, why would you when you're surrounded by such beauty? It's such a blessing to be able to just go for a walk here. See the volcano and like the jungle
Right.
around you and like the way that it's not flat, I'll tell you that. Like it's something else, man. And the social piece, this is like probably the most important thing. People here are happy. Most of them will greet you. Most people look at you. And if I could speak Spanish, I'm sure I'd be able to easily have a conversation with anybody. Like I speak to the ones that know English and they put an effort in. And it's been all around just a great time. Like people's energy just like resonate off each other. I went to the bio farm today, so Seb and we went up the mountain through this gate down this road, and then we went down this jungle path that went down the mountain for like 30 minutes. And it was slippery. I was in my Crocs, and we finally get to the bottom of it, and then we're in like the farm. Like so, they have like eco lounges for guests. I think they have like 18 different lounges, and it's like $200 American a night, and they get all their meals included. Really cool. But there's a huge farm that has its own compost. It has its own energy source from a dam, a small dam that they have, or just through the flow of water. They have pools. They have like a library. They have sun tanning, a bar at the pool. They have a separate bar. They have like a fireplace lounge, a big dining area, full kitchen, a horse stable, place for the other. It's just massive, beautiful. Where am I getting at with this? Oh, the people there. Just the two girls we met horseback riding. Right, we treated them to a spa day here, and then they invited us to go check out the farm, and so we did. And we met them at the bar. They introduced us to the bartender, who's a 19-year-old guy from here. There's another volunteer, met them. We walked around, we met more people. There was a girl in the library, saw us, then eventually came to the bar. Next thing you know, she's joining in on the conversation. Bartender's done his shift, comes up, gives everybody a hug. I end up hugging him. I just met the guy. I gave him $2 in tips, and this guy was overjoyed. He's like, "Fuck," just super happy. I don't feel any anxiety or nervousness talking to anyone here. And like, you're meeting different people all the time. They're coming and going for trips, right? There's a guy who just joined in the group here at Essence, where I'm at. He's from Switzerland. And there's a
Right.
girl from Florida who just came in today who basically greeted our driver that brought us and brought her in. Driver comes in. He's super happy to see me. Gives me a big hug, like high energy. You don't see this in Canada, man. Like people like that happy to see you and not being afraid to show it.
Yeah.
And then she sees this and is just like, whoa, where am I? And then I start talking to her like I've known her for her whole fucking life. And I'm like, well, this is what you want to do when you're here. I'm like giving her the full breakdown of this place before the tour. The receptionist even had a chance to talk to her. And then, she does the night tour as I recommend. We see her outside, invite her to dinner, see the Switzerland guy at dinner. They, when we have dinner together, don't even know each other, sitting down
Yeah.
together having dinner. She showed me all her pictures from the night tour, talk about going to yoga in the morning. Like it's
Uh,
easy. It's
yeah, it's
so,
really like seamless and like smooth.
yeah. It didn't take any effort at all.
And it's
None.
not something that you could buy. Like the random people that are there and how nice they are. That's like you couldn't go to like, an expensive resort and guarantee that. It's just like just being around nice people with like various activities. Like that's like a priceless like experience that it always seems like so lucky to be in that environment, but then it's like, but it's just like just like random people, like it could be whoever, but they're just like willing to, be like open and positive and stuff. It's weird.
Hmm. Well, my theory is that Costa Rica hasn't been touched by war. So they don't have an army. They haven't been sent out to any combat. They don't have PTSD from that. I think that's one thing. I don't think they've been occupied really either. So people here are happy generally. And when the people are happy, and when you have this kind of beauty, and the environment here models how we're supposed to live. And when we're here, it recharges us. So, like, our driver Louis was like, I bring people here and they run ragged when I see them, and they look tired. And when I pick them up, they're rejuvenated. And like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're at a resort spa and fed 3 great meals a day. But it's not just that; it's they're modeling the lifestyle that we have evolved to live, and they're surrounded by people who who may normally be shut off in the default, as I call the rest of like North America. The default is the 9 to 5, the grind. People are. I'm going to go back and I'd be like, ew, like driving around my vehicle and going to places and no one you and no one wanted to talk to you. Like that's the default,
Yeah.
The feeling that I have here is the same feeling I had when I finished like a regional burn, where people are super like themselves and happy and they talk to you. Like that's what I experienced at the burn. And I went back to the default and I just felt off. No one was wearing fur coats. No one was hugging anybody. Everybody had their masks on. It was just horrible to see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting challenge to like merge the two halves. Like almost everybody that experiences both like daily life and then, the chance to like be rejuvenated, like they know there's a difference, but they can't, it's like they don't consider blending them together or they don't like want them to blend together somehow. Like just the businesses that open and the like there's no resorts, often in Canada you can't really find like a good place. You can't like pay anyone in Canada to like bring you to an enclosed environment and just protect like shelter you for a little bit from the pressures of life and then like leave, 10 days later. There isn't stuff like that in Canada, but there could easily be, some business could just open like a resort in the middle of anywhere, and you just go there for 10 days, stay, like let yourself go, like de-stress
Yeah.
or something.
So
It's a
when
weird, yeah, it's like there's no demand or something.
when I'm on the West Coast, my plan is to offer backpacking for anybody who wants it. Now they can come and
Yeah.
they go backpacking for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, whatever. But if up to 5 days is what I can do right now. For beginners up to intermediate to advanced. And by doing that, you get to unplug because there's no reception.
Oh, yeah.
So you can bring your phone, but it's gonna die because it's searching for signal, and you're gonna be immersed in nature. And I want to give that experience to people. Like the girl that saw me when she was in the library, and who I ended up talking to at the bar in this farm. We were talking like we knew each other forever,
Yeah.
and she was saying that she is up for adventures and stuff, and I forget where the backpacking. Like I was describing Canada because she's from New Jersey, and it's like West Coast is where it's at, and I described one of the trees like from over there to over there, which is massive. And she's like, "Oh yeah, the red cedars that are 1,000 years old." I'm like, "Yeah, those ones." She's like, "I
Yeah.
want to see that so bad." I'm like, "Well, I'm moving back to the West Coast. I can take you." She's like, "Sure." It gives me her phone. Oh, by the way, I've never had so many girls ask for my number before. I think I'm at like 6 or 7.
It's the nibs. It's the cacao nibs.
What's that?
It's the cacao nibs. That's the
Yeah,
secret.
starting to think so. So I ended up getting her number. She's super interested in connecting. And then I don't know. I just like let's keep in touch. Talk to me about anything, anytime. And if you ever want to get away from the States, come to Ottawa. I can host you. And she's like, yeah, actually, there's lots of museums there. And she is talking about coming to visit in Ottawa now. I was like, holy jeez.
Yeah, it's like yeah, visiting Vancouver Island is like one thing, but like Ottawa, like it's like that's the sign of a true friendship is going to Ottawa for someone.
Yeah, I can say
Burying
like
Ottawa.
definitely a true friend. And so, I mean, that just happened today. Like, just met this person, and it's like
Yeah.
I've known him for a long time. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But I mean, there's quite a few people I'm talking to. One's an influencer, and then yeah,
Yeah.
and just from Paris apparently.
What? So were they filming anything? Are
Yeah,
they
all
that
the
kind of
time.
influencer? Oh,
Yeah,
like yeah,
like
that's
the
neat.
horseback riding, everything. Yeah,
Huh.
there's a lot of interesting people here.
Yeah, I have one friend right now that lives in New Jersey, like across from New York, I guess. That's the advantage I think of New Jersey, as far as I know, is that you can go to New York, but it's expensive in New Jersey because of that.
Yeah, how far is it from there?
I don't know his distance from New York, but he can like maybe a couple hours at the most driving. He can get over to like New York Island or whatever, peninsula.
Ah, sweet.
But then it does seem like he pays for it. Like he said, the rent, he's renting like a semi-detached place, and I think it's like everyone who like works in New York and made money is now over in New Jersey, like living there, and I think it drives up the price because it's like not people who can't afford to live in New York just come over there, and now that's the place, and everybody's commuting.
That's what happens. Same thing
Yeah,
happened with Toronto and The
Yeah.
Greater Toronto areas, I mean, even Barrie is starting to go up in price, and it's an hour away. Can you imagine
That's got the GO
traveling
train
to?
over there, yeah.
Yeah, but can you imagine commuting to work? Like,
Yeah, I know.
gross. Yeah, on the way here, I was just tired of Ontario and the traffic and the weather and the darkness and the salt, and I was like, I'm so fed up. Like, I needed this trip. Like, I was like, I'm done. I need to go. And then Seb wanted to join, like me last minute there. I was gonna go mid-February, and he was just like, this opened up 31st of Jan, and it was like the 26th. So yeah, it was a quick flash to bang.
Yeah. That's fun sometimes, like not having a huge window to anticipate a trip, but just not expecting it, and then all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere. That kind of makes it seem kind of magical.
This was very magical.
Yeah.
This has offered me a whole new perspective that I didn't have before. Like, there were some
Right.
dots that I had, some things that I thought I knew. This has absolutely solidified everything. I was walking with, so I don't get super drawn in or attracted to people like women in North America. Like, I just don't.
Hmm.
But I'm here and I'm doing yoga and I see this girl who I haven't met yet, and she's doing yoga too. And I see her at dinner time with this group of people. It's like the first day or two, and I'm like drawn to her. And I introduce myself, and she kind of just didn't seem interested in talking, but was distracted with some other stuff, like getting onto a shuttle to get back. And then I'm having some food with Seb, and they're talking about going to the volcano, and she's like asking people if they want to like join in. And I'm kind of like, this is like the first time I felt anxious because like I really wanted to go, but I didn't feel comfortable enough to jump up and ask.
Right.
And she left, and then she came back and asked Seb and I. And later we were talking, and she was like thinking, like, like, did she actually like left this out and was thoughtful that way? And maybe there was something else there. I don't know. But as we do this hike in the volcano, it's like we get closer and closer together, and we're talking about any and everything. Like, and it just, we want to be in each other's space. And I find out, halfway through the hike that she does have a partner, like new, relatively new. And that's fine. I mean, like, she's committed, and I get that. But you can't, there was no denying the connection that we had, the energy that we shared. When she wasn't around, I wanted her around. And I think
Hmm.
she felt the same way because, like, we kept doing stuff together. Like, I was going to go on a tour. She wasn't going to go on the cacao tour. Then she joined in the cacao tour. And we're walking together, and then we're sitting together. We go on the night tour, and we're mostly together. And then we go to, like, I basically failed on the horseback ride the first time that I was planned. And I threw this other girl in who just came in, named Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Yeah, you're going horseback riding in my place now. She's like, wow, and she's super happy that I threw her into it. But, I made sure she was set up and that she had the cash for it. And, I made sure she's taken care of, and she had a great time. But I did that because it's like, I need to spend this last day with this girl. And so we went to the butterfly conservatory. She loved butterfly, loves them. And then we ended up seeing the monkeys together, and we went on a nice hike together, and it was a good time.
That's neat.
And yeah. So, and we still maintaining contact, and we still have that connection, even though she's in Miami now. The Keys,
Oh yeah.
actually, somewhere around
Oh,
there. She's applying for some sort of higher end job, and excited. I'm excited for. It's a good friendship, really, really good. And I haven't felt that kind of connection to a person, but I'm starting to feel that with so I haven't before, but now I met this one at the bar, and it was like I've known her already, and then I met Rachel when Louis brought her in, and it was like, oh, now she seems to be really, really comfortable with me after like the first half a day. There's something about this area and letting people drop their guards so that our energies
yeah.
can so we can actually be drawn to people naturally. And I just don't get that when I'm back at home. Everybody again is so closed off. They're so awkward. Like you talk to them and
Right.
then next time you see them they're just super awkward. Like, who are you? You're like a complete stranger to them. Like you and then how dare you talk to them? They're like, wait a minute, we just talked for like 10 minutes. And this has happened at the gym too. I'm talking to this receptionist a few times, and she's made me a few protein shakes. And I find out her dad's in the military as a padre, and I indicate that I'm releasing, and we're talking every single time. And then I come in this other time in the gym, and I try to look at her. She won't look at me. I wanted to talk to her, greet her, won't look at me. It's like I don't exist, and it's deliberate, like you don't exist kind of thing. Like I don't want to look at you. Like I did something to her, and it's the weirdest thing where it's like, yeah, it's obviously the issues with her. I didn't do anything, but it's like this. She's not the only one that's like that. There's a lot of people that are like that, and it's
Yeah, it
just
is too bad. I think I've experienced that before where it just feels like it's too bad that people they feel like they can't just be honest and tell you like what they're thinking or feeling. Like they enter this like state where they just don't want to be like approached or something, and it would be nice if they at least felt comfortable enough to just like give you the news that you don't want to hear or whatever's going on, and then you just it could be more of like a responsible like communication rather than just people like kind of being shy about uh getting too like they don't want to like make people angry or something, but it's like they don't trust people to just remain calm and reasonable. I don't know.
yeah. But she has no
But, like,
reason to shut me down. I mean, her job is reception, and her job is to make shakes, and her job is to talk to. She didn't. She doesn't want to do that, then she shouldn't be there doing that. It's like I'm only talking to her because I need a towel or I want a protein shake. I'm not trying to pick her up. I'm not going above and beyond for the conversation. Like I'm not seeking that from her, and it's just so weird, man. It's not. I get the same thing when I go to the coffee shop, the Happy Goat. Like this one was nice and then super weird, super awkward. Like what is going on
yeah,
with
there's like
people?
everybody's kind of like everybody's busy and distracted and like overwhelmed, and there's never like a moment to just like ask that question, like, what's going on? Like everybody's always like busy with something, and so it's like it's draining when a lot of like relationships just get dropped like on the floor, like for whatever reason, then you never really get closure, and that's like taxing.
Yeah, I do wonder if when you're alone, people see you in a different light than when you're with your friend. So Seb's been with me most of the time, around when I'm meeting people, and I'm wondering if perhaps together, it maybe people are more warm because or friends in together, and because they see I have a friend that they see that I'm not some weird guy by myself
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's probably true. I think that's the origin of wingmen.
Yeah, I do. I sort of think that. Because like the guy from Switzerland is cool. I don't see him as off, but I do wonder if that has something to do with it. I'm gonna investigate that a little bit more and see.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely
I need
something there.
I need a true solo trip. I need more kind of like this. Go solo and see if I can have the same. Because to be honest, I'm kind of creating the group. Like not just me, like Seb too. Like we're inclusive. And I do wonder if the group would have grown as large as it has if we weren't here. I wonder
Right.
if people would come together. Now, when we first got here, we saw Alvaro, Elise, and one more. What was her name? Christina. And they formed a group of and Chantel, and they formed a group of people who were solo. So maybe perhaps people will come together as a group if they're all solo travelers because they're all like-minded, and it's kind of interesting. Yeah, and I think it. No, it's not. I've definitely contributed, but I'm not the cause. I
Right.
added value to the group in a certain energy, but I'm not like what has created the group. I think it's just like-minded people being attracted to each other. And the way to find like-minded people who want to travel and explore and who want to like live a healthy lifestyle and who are making positive changes for themselves are to go to areas like this, to go to a yoga retreat, a wellness retreat where you're taking care of yourself, where you're getting away from the 9 to 5.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a neat thing, like, everybody that goes there has, like, a different story, kind of like a different reason they've gone there,
Hmm.
and that is a neat thing, like, if I was I would like to make, like, content on that, like, go there and, interview people on their way in, on their way out, just get everyone's, like, story and do, like, a little, like, slice of life, like, biography of just, like, who was there that during that time.
You get some interesting results, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I can predict what they're going to be. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be they show up and they're not sure what they want, or they've been here before and they know what they're expecting, and that is like a recharge. They know that this place brings them joy. A lot of people don't have the financial freedom to maintain this, though, or they are too afraid. But they come in because they know that this is healthy for them, or they're trying to figure out what they need, and then they experience it, and they're like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I needed," and they come out of the experience feeling recharged, feeling better. There's a thing called house sickness, actually, and I experienced it when I was in Borden, and it's like, being in the environment that I was in, the work and there's also like our furniture is off-gassing, right? Like it's the
The
way our things are
furniture.
made. Yeah, the way
Yeah.
our things are made, like everything's fucking bad for us. I left the house and went to Dominican Republic for like a week plus for my friend's wedding. I felt great. Felt the best I've felt in years. Just perfect.
Right.
Relaxed, working out, no stress. I don't well, the ex caused me a bit of stress, but whatever. I come home and I'm sick immediately within the first couple hours of getting in the house. So there is such a thing as house sickness. And so how do you avoid that? I mean, if things that are manufactured in Canada all have the chemicals, the sealants and stuff put into them, right? don't know, but it's something I've realized. And what was kind of really neat about this farm place is that all their furniture is made there from the trees on the farm. They're like a woodworking shop. I'm really interested in.
Huh.
I don't know if the same is true for this place, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I've learned a lot from this experience. Oh, the last thing I was gonna say was about the 9-year-old. So I went off on this little tangent because I was walking with Elise. Then I got on to about connections and stuff. But I'm walking with Elise to go to the Butterlife Conservatory, and behind us is this little boy. And I don't know if he greeted us or we saw him and he eventually caught up to us. I think he greeted us actually. We started walking together. Yeah, these two adults walking with this 8-year-old boy, white kid too, by the way. So we're having a little chat, ask him a couple questions. He lives up the hill. Get to the conservatory. We're like, Lisa and I look at each other like, we really enjoyed talking to this kid. So it's like, why don't we just keep walking with him? All right. So we ended up we walked with him further. Kid knows everything about the area. Like he's able to describe what every building is and who's who, and he's having conversations in Spanish with the locals, and they're happy. The locals are happy to see him. They're greeting him, and like he knows the dog that escorted Seven Eye to the lake. We were calling him Tiger. His name's Jagged, apparently. He shows us where his school is, and he's like on our way to watch a baseball game down at the bottom of the mountain. He's just the coolest kid, super confident, like
Speaks English
super,
too. That's pretty cool.
yeah, perfect English, perfect Spanish, just super chill, right? Happy, really, really happy. And I'm like, that was the final thing I needed to see to make up my mind. It's like, I don't want to have kids in North America. And I don't want to have pets in North America either, because they are so pets. I'll start with them. Is I feel bad because they're like prisoners. They're like our prisoners. They're locked in the house. Cats, for sure. And the dogs, well, they go outside when we walk them, and then they're on a fucking leash. They're on a ball and chain, man. You really think about it. But I feel guilty. I do. I've had, when I lived at my grandmother's place, outdoor cats and a dog that could go outside whenever the fuck it wanted. Like they were free. And that's how animals should be. And that's how they are here for the most part. There's a couple that are tied up, and I don't know why, but I see dogs just roaming, just having a great time, just chilling with anybody. Cats too. It's great.
Right.
And I see this boy by himself walking down a mountain to go watch a baseball game. You don't see kids walking by themselves in suburbia
Yeah.
anymore. You don't see kids by themselves. You don't the way how happy this kid was. Like, there's no bullying. There's no teasing. This kid was strong, confident, holding he was smart too. Holding a
Fun kid. He's
conversation
gonna
with,
be president.
yeah, we were holding a conversation with two adults he never met before, and we just like hit it off like we were friends. I've never seen a kid this confident.
Yeah.
Never. And that was it. That was the final thing I needed to see with regards to like where like about having kids and stuff. It's like, one, I need a partner that aligns with me. And the ones that work to 9 to 5 who are plugged in are not it. Right. They want the houses, they want the cars, they want the stability, the security, the husband who works the job so they can maybe work. Like, they might want to just be a house mom, or they want to contribute into the kids in fucking daycare, and then you're getting hit by every suit
Right.
that fucking place manufactures, and that is not a life. And I got friends that live that. That is not a life. They're always sick, and it is disgusting.
Yeah. Well, people like a lot of people from America, they like immigrate to Mexico. There's different like cities in Mexico where there's like a ton of like sometimes retired people, sometimes just Americans living there. Like different, like if it's, I guess it's like American Town or something. I feel like that might
Yeah.
be a growing trend. Like different, I've seen some people on the internet, like they just go to different countries. They can afford a house in this different country. Their house is like in a nice, like forested area. And like there's not, there isn't like the same plumbing and electricity and stuff, but, they get to live in like a, not like a whole like outside a parking lot, they get to just be in a natural place.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's I've learned that there's a couple platforms. One's called Wolf. I don't know what it stands for, and the other one is Volunteering Latin America. And you can go,
Yeah.
and you can live in these areas, free lodging, free food, and you just provide some service, and you learn as you do it. And so you
Right.
can kind of hold on to your citizenship in Canada, but if you can get away from your 9 to 5, then you can go volunteer,
Right.
which I think is pretty neat. So
Yeah, I think WOOF stands for like woofer. And a woofer is like a name for like a person who like works on a farm in exchange for like room and board. But they do it for free to like see the country basically.
mhm. And I can do that if I get a pension.
Right.
I'd be able to collect the pension and live for nothing, really.
Yeah, some way
Just
to just continue like saving a bit for retirement while not having super high expenses.
well, yeah, well, if I have like my 90% pension from a medical release, then um, yeah, I'll be laughing.
Yeah.
Imagine like making 6 figures as a farmhand. Pretty much what it is. Yeah. Yeah, but if I can even handle it, we'll see. There's a reason I'm medically releasing it. It's not because I'm a spring chicken, I'll tell you that. Oh, because I'm not a spring chicken. God, I'm old. All right, buddy, I gotta let you go.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Thanks for flexibility.
Yeah, no worries. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.